7.2, the law of cosines. For the case when you don't have an angle with its opposite side, or like if you have a side and the angle between two sides, or you just have three sides, what are you supposed to do? Well, the law of cosines takes care of that. Look at this form right here. This kind of looks like the Pythagorean theorem, but remember, we're dealing with non-right triangles, so you have this adjustment here at the end. Look at all three forms of this. It's just a matter of what names you give each angle and each side. They're all the same formula. Make sure that you're looking for the right thing. If you have all three sides, the only thing you need to learn is this angle. Now your book will write cosine of A in terms of all the other stuff, but it's easy enough to plug in all the numbers and then isolate the cosine and then take the inverse cosine. So let's get going. All right, there is some good news with the law of sines. There is no ambiguous case. When you are using the law of sines, you find either that side or that angle that you're looking for, and then once you get that done, you can go backwards and use the law of sines once you finish. So you'll only ever use the law of cosines for one thing, and then you'll switch to what's easier. Okay, in the case where we have a 40-degree angle and the two sides that are adjacent to the 40 degrees. So this is side, angle, side. If you notice that there's only one angle, and we don't know its opposite side. So therefore, we want to solve for the A in this case. So strategy. First, use the law of cosines to find that a side that's opposite A. Then you'll have an angle and an opposite side, so you can switch to the law of sines to find the other two angles. Remember, you cannot use the Pythagorean theorem because this is not you're not told it's a right triangle, sorry. So let's do this. We want to solve for A, so we have A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of the angle opposite the side that you're looking for. You stick all of this in your calculator. I get 2037.6888888, blah, blah, blah. Take the square root of that, and you're going to get so we'll just use 45. All right, so now we have all three sides. I'm going to use now it's not going to be exact, but that's okay. I'm going to use 45 and the sine of 40. And compare that to, hold the shortest side, which will give you the smallest angle. You'll always want to find the smallest angle first because your calculator, hold the phone here, your calculator, when you do an inverse sine, is going to give you quadrant 4 and quadrant 1. But sometimes in a triangle, we'll have an angle that is larger than 90, okay? And finding an inverse sine using the law of sines is not going to give you that angle, and you'd have to figure out how to adjust it. So what you want to do is you want to always find the smallest angle first. That means we're going to solve for B. We already know this one, so we're going to do the next smallest one and get B. So what I'm going to do is sine of B is to side B. So sine B is 40 50 sine 40 over 45. All right. So once you plug that in your calculator, do the inverse sine, and that will give you the angle B. So I get that B is 45.578, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say 45.6. So that's B. And now remember, in a triangle, the angles will all add to 180. So 40 plus 45.6 is going to give me, let me do this in a different color so you can see what I'm doing. It's going to give me 85.6 subtracted from 180, and that will be angle C. All right, that is bigger than 90, so the calculator would not have given me that if I had used it. You can try it out, put 70 and solve for sine C. If you do that, you get an angle that is smaller than 90, and that won't be the right answer. So always find the smallest angles first. Okay, so we've got side, side, side in this problem. I'm just going to label my triangle. All right, if A is 20, B is 30, and C is 40, I want to find the smallest angle first, so I'm going to use 20A, and I'll solve for angle A. So because I'm focused on the A, I've got A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of angle A, and I'll solve for that at the end. So 20 squared equals 30 squared plus 40 squared minus 2, 30, 40 cosine of A. These are just numbers, right? So 20 squared is 400, 900, 1600, minus 2 times 3 times 4 is 2400 cosine angle A. Cosine angle A is going to be for the 400. I could have calculated this already, but whatever. Over 160 and over negative 240. This is not the formula that's in the book. I don't want you to have to memorize another formula. Just memorize the form of the law of cosines, and you can just solve for that guy. It's just numbers, right? So cosine of A will equal minus 2100 over minus 2400. See, I get 0.8 something. Take the inverse cosine. I get angle A is 28.95. I'm going to let A be 29 degrees. All right. Now, once you get that angle, now I want to get the next smallest angle. I guess in this one, we could have used the law of cosines to find angle C, which would be the biggest, because it doesn't give me an ambiguous case when I use the law of cosines. But 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? My answer is not going to be exact, but it will be good, okay? So far, I have sine of 29 is to 20 the same way. Let's do B. Sine B is to side B, 30. So sine B is 30. Sine 29 over 20. And I'm going to get B equals 46.65. I'm going to say 46.7 degrees. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. Side B and side A. I'm here. All right. So I get 46.7 and angle C. Remember, they all add to 180. So I've got 180. Take away 29. Take away 46.7. And I get 180 minus 104.3. And there you go. All right, an application problem that also incorporates bearings. Okay, so we have a plane that leaves an airport and goes 580 miles to another airport at this bearing. So from airport A, he's going to travel north by east 34 degrees. He's going to go the length of this side of the triangle is 580 miles. So notice that we don't have an interior angle. We have the angle from the north, okay? So watch out, all right? Later, it leaves the airport, that it leaves B and goes to C, which is at a bearing of south, rotated toward the east 74, all right? So that direction, and it's going to go 400 miles. So we have this length, and we want to find this distance from A to C. So we can't do this unless we have interior angles, right? But let's look at this. This is the north-south line with airport A here, okay? And this is the north-south line with airport B. We have this line right here. This angle is 34, okay? That means that this angle is 34. Now, if we look back at our triangle, I have 74 here, and this is 34. So we have an interior angle here. So I'm going to redraw my triangle. 74 and 34. I'm going to call this angle B. 74 and 34 is 108. Boom. And we have side angle side. All right. Side C is 580. I call it side C because it's opposite of airport C. Side A, opposite airport A, is 400. And we want to find the side that's opposite this angle. I called it D for distance. So we have D squared equals the other two angles squared added together minus 2 times the other two sides, not angles, cosine of the opposite angle. There you go. Stick it in your calculator, then take the square root, and you'll have that distance. You don't really need to write this down. Just showing you. Take the square root of that, and I get 799.86. I'm going to round that to 800 miles. And you're done. Good luck, guys.